Today, we are putting two music distribution titans in the ring together. What's up, music meeples? Today, we are having a face-off between Distrokid and LANDR. Specifically, we are going to look at the pricing of each of those distribution platforms over time. That way, you can be strategic on which platform is right for you. Because, as we know, in the game of music marketing, strategy is everything. Let's get into it. Two platforms are entering the ring, but only one can come out on top. In the blue corner, weighing in with unlimited uploads, fast distribution, and name recognition, we have Distrokid, always a fan favorite. And in the red corner, punching way above its weight with mastering services and powerful tools for independent artists, we have LANDR. We're answering the question, who has the best deal, Distrokid or LANDR? Okay, I don't actually know anything about boxing, but I thought that would be fun to try. Today, we are going to take an in-depth look at LANDR and Distrokid, specifically comparing the prices. We want to see what is the better deal. Both of these platforms have stood the test of time. Distrokid was founded in 2013 and LANDR was founded the year after, 2014. Let's begin round one. Let's take a look at the basic pricing for Distrokid and LANDR. Today, we are specifically looking at distribution. Both of the platforms do offer some other tools. Specifically, LANDR has a whole tab for mastering tracks, but we're gonna look at distribution. Let's start with Distrokid. The base plan, it says, is $22.99 per year. So if you're going to release just one single, it's gonna cost you $22.99 for that year that you release that single. If you're going to release a full album, let's say it's 10 different tracks, it's still gonna be $22.99. If you are releasing music over a long period of time, the cost stays the same, $22.99 per year. Now, let's look at LANDR. LANDR's base cost is going to be $23.99. So again, if you do a single that year, it's $23.99 for that year. If you're gonna do a full album, $23.99. The price doesn't change for either of these platforms based on how much you release in a year. They are both unlimited. Now, let's jump ahead in the future. Let's say you are going to be releasing music with this platform for, let's say, 5 years. If we are going to use Distrokid for 5 years, overall, your subscription cost is going to be $114.95. For LANDR, it is going to be $119.95. Very similar, but Distrokid does come ahead. So round one goes to Distrokid. With its most basic features, Distrokid is going to be the more affordable option. Now, let's get into round two because I really want to dig into this. I'm actually really excited because LANDR reached out to me and asked me to do this video for them because they know on the surface, it kind of looks like Distrokid is a better deal, but they asked me to dig into the details. So we are going to take an in-depth look at all of the hidden costs that come with both Distrokid and LANDR so that we can get a clear view of which platform is the better deal. Round two. Let's talk about the longevity of your track, meaning how long it's going to be out in the world. One of the biggest cons for some of these music distributors is that as soon as you stop paying your annual fee, they take your music down. Let's see how both Distrokid and LANDR approach this specific issue. Distrokid offers something called the Leave a Legacy add-on. For a single, it's $29. You pay one-time fee for that single, and then they will ensure that even if you cancel your plan, your music will always stay live and you will still be able to collect your royalties through Distrokid, even if you're not paying the annual fee. If you're going to be releasing an album, the cost for that goes up to $49 for your release. Again, it's a one-time fee to ensure that your track is going to have longevity. That's why they call it the Leave a Legacy add-on. So let's look at the pricing over the long term, since this is something that's going to be for each individual track. Let's look at Distrokid. Let's say in your first year, you're super motivated and you release 5 singles and 3 albums. That's a lot, but let's say you can do it. So you're gonna be paying that $29 for each of the singles for the Leave a Legacy plan. Then for each of the albums, you're gonna be paying $49. Altogether, for that year, for the Leave a Legacy plan, it's gonna be $292 to ensure that your music stays up forever. Let's say you're releasing music a little bit slower with Distrokid. If it takes you, say, 5 years to release the same number of singles and albums, the cost is going to be the same, because with the Leave a Legacy, you're paying per track, not paying per year. All in all, let's say you're going to do 5 singles, 3 albums. It's going to cost you on Distrokid $292 to leave those up once you cancel your plan. Of course, the other option here is you could just stay subscribed forever and just keep paying the annual fee, but overall, I think that won't quite work out for you. So now, in the other corner, we have LANDR. Let's take a look at their Leave a Legacy plan. All right, let's look at the LANDR site. So we have here the distribution tab, and we're gonna look at the unlimited plans. So they have the Studio Standard, the Distribution Basic, and the Distribution Pro. So we've been looking at the Distribution Basic. They do have a really nice spreadsheet here that compares the plans. If you would like to go to their website and just look through this, you can. We're not gonna go over all of that. We're actually gonna scroll all the way down here because I wanna look at this included with all plans. And right down here, it says independent forever. So rest easy knowing your music is safe. Cancel anytime and keep your releases live. So what does that mean? That means that even on their basic distribution basic plan, they're gonna keep your music up even after you stop paying. That Leave a Legacy plan is included. So there's actually not an additional cost. So round 2 definitely goes to LANDR. Round 3, let's talk about social media distribution. One of the things that I specialize in is YouTube Content ID, YouTube distribution, official artist channels, all things music and YouTube. So let's take a look at Distrokid versus LANDR and how they approach the YouTube Content ID. If we go over to Distrokid again, we can see here that we have this social media pack. For a single, it is $4.95 per year, and important, they are going to take 20% of the revenue from the ads on that platform. Typically, Distrokid does not take a cut of the revenue, but this is the exception. They are going to take a percentage of the ad revenue on YouTube, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Let's take a look and see what LANDR does. If we go down here, we can see that they have YouTube Content ID. Now this is kind of exciting because right now, YouTube Content ID is actually included in even the basic plan. You don't have to pay that extra $4.95 to incorporate it, but this is limited. I do have a link in the description of this video for both Distrokid and for LANDR, so watch through this video to the end to see which one is best fit for you. But if you do choose LANDR, you're gonna want to act on this quickly because they're gonna be removing this feature soon, and you want to get that YouTube Content ID for free. Down here, again, it has included with all plans. You have more ways to monetize, secure your earnings with YouTube, and here it says on LANDR's site as well, YouTube Content ID, 20% commission. Both Distrokid and LANDR are going to take a 20% cut of this YouTube Content ID ad revenue. However, for a limited time, LANDR is going to be the winner of this round because right now they are including Content ID in their base plan. Again, they say on here that it's for a limited time, so if you do want to use LANDR after you watch this, I would act on that quickly. Make sure you follow the link in the description of this video. Round 4, let's take a look at what they call the Discoverability pack. Let's start again with Distrokid. Let's see. Okay, so here they have as these extras, but awesome. The Discovery Pack is 99 cents per year. Super cheap, very affordable. And what that does is it doesn't say Shazam in this list, but basically it's all of the different platforms out there that help recognize your song. So song recognition and millions of automobiles. You know, when you're driving your car and the title actually comes up on your dashboard, that's what this is going to do. So that if someone hears your song, no matter where they're listening, it's actually going to register it in their vehicle so that they can look and see who is singing. This can be a really key feature if you are a new artist, because I do this all the time. If I'm listening to the radio and I hear a song that I like, I always look at my dashboard to see who's the artist, what is this song called, and then I usually look them up later and start streaming their music if I'm interested. So this can really help your discoverability. Also, registration with SoundScan, that's used for Billboard charts, and it also does this audio fingerprinting, and they're linked in Jaxsta, which I'll admit I have no idea what Jaxsta is. I think I need to learn that. But anyway, so this is the Discovery Pack. This is Distrokid's offer for 99 cents per year. Let's take a look at LANDR. Okay, I don't see it here and included with all plans. So let's do a little bit more digging to see where we can find this. Okay, that took me a minute to find, but the reason why it wasn't listed in the special features on LANDR is because it's actually hidden in here in the distribution tab. It actually lists Shazam as one of the platforms that it distributes the music to. So this is actually going to be included with a standard release. Okay, so that round goes to LANDR. Round 5. One of the things that both of these platforms are going to talk about is future distribution. They use this code, what is it? It's future DSP deliveries. And so, okay, what is that? It means the stores that stream music, Amazon Music, Apple Music, obviously Spotify. There are a ton of different platforms, digital streaming platforms, DSP, that, oh wait, is it digital streaming? No, okay, digital service provider, digital streaming provider. I don't actually know which one that is. If you do know, please comment below and help educate me on what DSP actually stands for. Anyway, both of these platforms know that in the future there will be more DSPs. There will be more websites and platforms that are streaming music. And so they want your music to get on these future platforms. They don't exist yet, but they will. There's always new platforms coming into the market. For round 5, we're going to look at how Distrokid and LANDR both approach this. Underneath the extras, we have this option, Store Maximizer, for Distrokid. It says Distrokid will automatically deliver this single to new online stores. Of course, if you're within the album release, it'll say it will deliver this album. For the single, it is $7.95 per year for Distrokid to guarantee that your song will be added to future platforms. And it's actually the same cost whether you're doing a single or an album. It is going to be $7.95 per year to guarantee that it's continually being added to new stores that pop up. Let's take a look at the other corner at LANDR. Okay, let's see if we can find this. Okay, I'm gonna add an extra round here. You know what? Round 5 is actually gonna be about clarity on the website, because this is the second time that I've had a little bit of trouble finding exactly what is included on LANDR. Distrokid had it all laid out very clearly. When you're distributing your song, they've got these nice clear check boxes that have all of these different features available. When you go to LANDR, they do have this section on the bottom, which is included with all plans, but it's kind of dense and it's kind of hard to tell exactly what these are saying. So for round 5.5, I'm actually gonna give this to Distrokid because it isn't 100% clear from the main page that Shazam was included, and I'm having a little bit of trouble finding if they will send it to new stores. So let's give a point to Distrokid here. Okay, after some digging, I was able to find in here that LANDR will distribute your music to new platforms. It's sort of part of their built-in legacy plan where you don't have to pay extra. They will always have your music out there, and they are continually updating their platform, updating the different DSPs that they work with. So yes, you can get your songs out into the world on new platforms in the future with LANDR, and that is included. That was really hard for me to find, but I did finally. So round 5.5 on being able to find these different features went to Distrokid, but Distrokid had a cost for adding your song to future platforms, and LANDR doesn't. So for round 5, the win goes to LANDR. Okay, we have gone through some of the key hidden features within these two distributors. Let's look at an overall summary of who is the best choice for your music distribution. We are looking at the base cost here. We have the base cost for Distrokid, $22. This was round 1, $22.99. For LANDR, it was a little bit more expensive. On its most basic level, it looks like Distrokid is more affordable. But as we continued to dig through round by round, you saw that Distrokid, and even if you look here, when you check out for your release, there's all these check boxes. I like that it was clear, but all of these have additional hidden fees. Discovery Pack, 99 cents. Store Manager, $7.95. Social Media Pack, $4.95 per year. And Leave a Legacy was $29 for every single song. The video distribution is more, the loudness. So yes, Distrokid I felt was more visually appealing with finding these extra features, but they charge extra fees for every single one of these. Let's go back to our spreadsheet. Look at this. Leave a Legacy. For LANDR, it's included. For YouTube Content ID, for LANDR, it's included. Yes, they will take the 20% commission, just like Distrokid does, but there's no extra cost the way there is with Distrokid. And discoverability on Shazam, you have to pay that 99 cents for Distrokid, and you don't for LANDR, and the future stores delivery, it is included with LANDR. Final round, let's look at the overall cost to see who the ultimate winner is. If you release 5 singles and 3 albums over 5 years using all of these wonderful tools that we have gone over, in Distrokid, the grand total is $1,238.20. This is over 5 years, so that's pretty reasonable considering all that you are getting. Now let's look at LANDR. For the same services over 5 years, 5 singles, 3 albums over 5 years, all the same services. Oh my God, okay. This is kind of funny, kind of not. It's $119.25. Like, that's like $1,000 less. Okay, I see now why LANDR wanted me to make this video, because if you're looking at the hidden costs of all of these features that Distrokid does, dang, like this is a clear knockout. LANDR is gonna be the better one for you in the long run. Now, with that said, it's important that you choose which distributor is right for you. If you are just getting started, you're maybe not as serious about your music, and you just kind of want to release one track for fun, you know, go with Distrokid. They have a great reputation, and if you're just doing the basic release, they are gonna be cheaper. It's gonna be $114 for 5 years of just the basic. So that is gonna be cheaper in the long run. But if you are really looking to grow your audience, you want to have that Leave a Legacy, you want to do the YouTube Content ID, be discoverable in the car and on Shazam, and get added to future stores, if you want to do all that with Distrokid, it's going to cost you a lot more, whereas it's all included with LANDR. So now that we have a clear winner, what if you're already on Distrokid and you want to switch to LANDR? They did provide me with a little bit of information about how easy it is to switch. So let's go over that real quick. So they say that they have a release importer program. So this is completely free. You don't have to pay anything, and it can be really overwhelming or exhausting to try and transfer music from one platform to the other. So this is why LANDR wanted me to highlight this, because it's actually pretty simple. You can move your music to LANDR from Distrokid, TuneCore Ditto, United Masters, really any of these platforms you can import your songs from, and it's pretty simple. I'll include the link to this as well if you need to switch to LANDR. It's just called the import release. What they're going to ask you to do is include a URL to the song that's already been released. They're going to ask you for a little bit more information, and then they will begin the process of transferring it over. So then you're going to be able to take down your music from the other distributor, and you won't lose. Important, you will not lose your streaming numbers. Sometimes when people are switching to a different distributor, they just like delete the song and then re-upload it. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll lose all of your views, all of your listens. So I want you to make sure that if you are going to switch, that you are using this import release link so that you don't lose the views and the listens that you already have. Thank you so much to LANDR for sponsoring this video. I came into this wanting to be as honest and objective as I could, but I see why they wanted me to break down the numbers for you guys, because it's pretty obvious that LANDR is going to really give you the greater value over time. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which one will you pick?